Do you know maybe a couple of friends or maybe people in the community that are pretty impatient when you're playing with them, that they just want to hop into the next game, want to have fun, always be a relaxed personality, that they like the freedom and that they don't have a champion pool, but more so a champion ocean, and they want to have variety and their own freedom and how to act and what to play, and they have a pretty hard time to run with routines or processes that are set in stone because they think and feel that every situation is different, and they like and love to improvise on the spot, and that is where they excel, because oftentimes they also have like good mechanical, sometimes even the pros like god-like mechanical skill, but they could need to compensate with that in order for their perhaps their strategical skill or their routine like. So we see a lot of differences in here, and I got a story to tell as well from a friend in World of Warcraft that I was playing 2v2 arena with, and I subscribe to Skill Capped in order to understand all the concepts and learn all the details of the pros and monkey see, monkey do, what they did. I had to understand why they done things. And my friend, he was just looking at those videos and instantly just like press pause and okay, let's jump into a game. Let's just go. It's taking too long. Like, I don't have time to study all of this. I kind of understand sort of what we need to do. So he loves to improvise and to wing it. Maybe there's some bell ringing right now who you're thinking of, perhaps. So if this video is about you, or maybe that friend that you recognize already, tag them below in the video, or share this with them because they have to see it, because we're gonna talk about the impulsive personality profile. There are 4 personality profiles that are generally based around what people do, the way they behave, what their strengths and weaknesses are. But in today's video, we're only gonna cover the personality profile of the impulsive. So grab your pen and a piece of paper and let's get into it. What is up, guys? My name is Donny from nextlevel-esports.com, the #1 platform for esports coaches and team development to help you and your team reaching that next level by getting the people side of esports right. So if you like the introduction thus far and you're very curious and you're watching this video, thank you so much for watching. At the end, I will ask you again, but if you like this type of video, hit the like button. It really helps out a lot with the algorithm. And if you love this type of content and you love this video and it brought you some value and you want to learn more about it, also consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be always the first one to get notified for new types of content. So with no further ado, let's jump into the impulsive personality profile. The impulsive personality profile is represented by a flame, because fire is very hard to contain. It needs freedom and oxygen to thrive and follow its desires inside the moment, to be free and to be impactful in its surroundings. In this video, we will cover the strengths, weaknesses, and how you can recognize an impulsive personality profile and how you can work with them. So sit back and let's get into it. What you see here is the overview for the impulsive personality profile. What they need is freedom, and a lot of it, because if you restrict them too much with rules, confinement, processes, and routines that they have to follow, you will drive them crazy. They need to have freedom, and if you are a coach that correlates with the impulsive, you also need that freedom to act upon and improvise on the spot a lot. But you also have to be cautious that other people need structure. So it's always a balancing out of what others need and what you need. And if you are a player watching this, if you're an impulsive, also acknowledge that you cannot be improvising all the time, and you have to follow some rules and some structure along the way to improve your skill and be a better teammate overall. Else you yourself will drive yourself crazy, or others will drive you crazy because they are too structured, etc. So talk about this, share this video if that is important to you. So The second thing is their beliefs is variation, action, and adventure. They love action, adventure, exploring things, doing new things. So if there's a new update, they instantly want to jump into the game, and they don't really read, let's say, the small letters or the skills or whatever is happening. They just want to see if it's broken, if it's good, if it's overpowered, or if it's total garbage, etc. by playing it. They also want a lot of variation. So you can recognize an impulsive personality profile within your team or in your environment that they don't have a champion pool, but they have a champion ocean. They like to play every champion to a certain level, or when there's a pick and ban phase in something, that they like to change things up at the last split second, because they want to see and have the tactical edge over the others to see, oh, there's a spot that I can jump into that would increase our win skills or win ratio at the last minute, and they will be the first one to see it. They're very tactical into the moment, and that's why they like variety to, let's say, be more into the moment and to use everything that is available to them for the best possible outcome inside the moment. So their talent is they are playful, taking risks, and they have tactical power. So playful is they are relaxed, very down to earth, very brotherly relationships, very chill. And they like also to take risks. So if you would say like, oh, should we do this, or let's do something crazy last second, they are oftentimes the first one that jump on board. They say, okay, let's just do it, because it's exciting. It's something new, a new experience. And they get challenged by their own inner needs by, oh, can I handle this type of situation? There's so much to improvise and to look out for. And it doesn't always work out, and after a while, if they will notice like, oh, there was a super bad decision, they can lose their interest pretty quickly in the game as well, instead of doing their best and sitting the game out in order to try to win. So it's always a double-edged sword with every personality profile and with every trait that I will mention. There will always be good, bad, and uglies in everything. And their last obvious talent is tactical power. So tactical power means outplaying others instead of outsmarting them. So they rely heavily on their mechanical skill, as well as little tweaks inside matchups or types of knowledge that they know, in order to outplay them, not really outsmart them by really making ingenious concepts or strategies, but more so make it small, effective, and simple. You can view, basically, if you look at the military, this with, let's say, commandos. You drop them anywhere in the desert, in the jungle, at the ice cap or something, they will do something with it, and they will survive and succeed with their mission, basically. That is what impulsives are the masters at, if you look at compared to the other personality profiles that will be covered in upcoming videos as well. So be sure to watch them as well. So behavior of them is spontaneous, impulsive, and restless. So the behavior is very restless because they always need to do something. If, let's say, you're in a team, you've probably notice that if you know that this is an impulsive person or personality, that they are fidgeting with stuff, or they're on Twitter, or they have a maximum attention span of, like, say 2 minutes, and then they have to do something else, or they are distracted by something else, or they have to do something, or, oh, I just have to do this again. So they always are restless, basically, always something on their mind, always something that they want and have to do in order to not feel, let's say, passive. And therefore they can be impulsive. So it doesn't mean like, oh, I want to order pizza now, I'm gonna order it now. It will be an impulsive behavior, but also in terms of gameplay, that they feel the urge to get that kill. It happens so unconsciously that you cannot really put your finger upon, like, oh, what is this? But expect the behavior of also being impulsive. If they see an opportunity, a gap of like one millisecond basically inside a game, or a gap that they can exploit, they are eager to jump on it, and they are masters at jumping at those cracks into the opponent's defense, in making a, let's say, an outplay that seems unreasonable or just like a flip, but inside their mind they know, I can rely on my mechanical skills and my outplay and my tactical prowess. So, and in terms of behavior, spontaneous, they like to go with flow, basically. That is what there is. They can be also somewhat commanding or someone that is very chill as well. It doesn't really matter, but spontaneous means they are flexible in whatever is needed. So go with the flow. And the biggest fear is basically the opposite of what they need, and that they need freedom, so they have a fear for restrictions. Don't confine them to too many rules or something. Of course, these impulsive players can learn a lot of following processes, routines, flowcharts, etc., but also understand their behavior and that they can be and express themselves, and they need to be and they want to be from time to time as well, or find a balance in that. And that's something you have to figure out for yourself together with your teammates as well. So, and at his best, in order to perform at his best in official matches or just like practice, they have to get fired up, and they don't need a lot, but just like give them a challenge to get like a creep score difference, or get so much kill death ratio, or to just like dumpster on like this particular player at least several times, if that is something that you find triggering for yourself or maybe some player. So look for a way to a little bit of challenge them. It's not always about winning, but always give them a challenge and to get fired up for it. Like, just like kick some ass, or like fire yourself up and just let's go. And that is enough basically for this profile, while others, let's say, need more inspirational talks and all these kinds of things. The impulser just need to get a kick under his ass and just effing go, and then they will go. Most of the time. Not always, of course. This is just like a sketch overview, but obviously I think by now you've thought of some people that this might be an impulsive personality profile. So let's continue with the next sheet. So let's talk about the impulsive personality profile and its playstyle. It really loves to be an aggressive playstyle, often engaging, damage dealing, and playmaking. Those are the top 3 things that you can recognize in the playstyle. Doesn't explicitly need to be an impulsive, because other personality profiles can be direct or aggressive as well, but they love to have their impact inside their game. They want to play those champions that can win the game on their own by, let's say, huge tactical knowledge, or let's say in League of Legends, huge ultimates, or in Dota as well, or be this specific character that is very mechanically skilled, or they can out-tactical play the opponent. Those are some things that you can recognize this profile with inside the game as well. And what I just mentioned as well is they love to outplay opponents and not really outsmart opponents, because they kind of think or believe generally that inside the moment they are outsmarting the opponents by being and applying tactical knowledge, by last minute changing something up, by taking them by surprise because of their aggressiveness, by not waiting and just going in instead of really planning out huge concepts inside their mind and thinking 10 steps ahead and how they want to play and in different spikes of the game or all these kinds of things. So it's more, let's say, inside the moment, referring back to the commando. Like, they are at best inside the chaos, inside the moment. Of course, they had their training and they know their routines, but they excel best inside hectic and chaotic environments. And it's basically impossible to think, let's say, 15 or 10 steps ahead, because they have to deal with the here and now into the moment and have to adjust every bit of tactical prowess that they have, only looking, let's say, a couple of seconds into a couple of minutes ahead, and not really looking at the future of years or months or weeks ahead, but more so are really ingrained into the here and now, into the moment. So another thing what they like in their playstyle is a lot of variety. So if you would say as a coach, by doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, you will drive them crazy because it feels too much of a routine and too much of structure for them. They like to play different play styles, different positions. Also, if you are talking about, let's say, MOBAs, they don't like to pick the same heroes or champions. They want to have variety within their play style as well to see what is fit, just like the commando metaphor as well, what is best inside the moment. But sometimes they tend to look at, let's say, meta picks or sometimes one-trick pony type of style, if that is basically the most broken thing ever in every situation, because that is and the strategical and tactical side though. So they can tend to go that way, but oftentimes it is more so looking into just like the surroundings. What do we have on our hands? What is the situation? We cannot plan couple of steps ahead because it's always changing. That's basically the mindset of an impulsive. So that's how they like variety and improvising. And improvising, that means being in the moment as well. So they're not thinking about what just happened last round or last week. They're really inside this moment. And this can really help as well with the team if other team members are, let's say, a bit stressed or taking the former rounds with them into the current round, for example, and the impulsive player can say and help the team with, hey guys, what do we need to do? What is the next play? What is the next call? Just focus, guys, into the moment. We're here right now. So it helps the team to also be into the moment instead of being only looking past of what happened or what is going to happen. So they are very good at that and balancing things out. And in order, what they like to play is doing and experiencing. They like to have and love to have fun in just like playing the game. And this is a core need of them as well, is they need to have fun and doing and experiencing that fun. Every player and every athlete in esports and traditional sports as well, they need to have fun, but this type need to have fun playing the game, because if they are not having fun, they're not engaged, their attention goes to somewhere where their brain can have some fun, basically by memes, alt-tabbing to Twitter or something, because it's like, yeah, whatever. They disconnect with the team and the game as well. So you want them to keep them engaged, and a good way to do this is keep them challenged by setting up little challenges or anything else, basically to keep their attention span going on, and that they have something, always something to do, basically, and there's not much of a break in between, or have them or let them have a break in between so they can let their mind drift away, so they can fulfill that need and then focus on the more routine and structure when you need them to be. So this is basically the play style and how they operate in a nutshell for the impulsive personality. Besides the way the impulsive plays the game, and some points you can recognize them in terms of gameplay, you can also recognize them in terms of behavior, because oftentimes they are one of the most laid back, chill, and brotherly people that you can expect. Because they are always relaxed, not really worried about what's to come. They're just like, yeah, chill, it's fine. Or sometimes a little bit of tension, but they're just chilling. There's not much worry, because they are used to, in their day-to-day life as well, to manage, let's say, 5 to 10 problems simultaneously, because they thrive on chaos and competitions, etc. This is their, let's say, playing ground. So how they operate oftenly is brotherly. So just like, it doesn't matter if you're a head coach or your granny, or just like the Queen of England, they prefer to talk in a brotherly way. So they just keep chill and be like, yo bro, can you do this? Or they treat everyone equally as they are friends, because that is what they like, and that is what they also like to be, let's say, in a conversation, that others want them to be like that. Because if others are more take a position of hierarchy of a head coach, or let's say a teacher, and that is really polite and stuff, they will like, oh, boring, he's so stiff, and they don't really like this type of conversation. So they are more broadly in tune with one another and just relax and chill overall. And in behavior, just like within the gameplay, they want to have a lot of impact in terms of playstyle, champions, heroes, and the way they move across the map. But also outside of the team, they want to have an opinion and they want to express their freedom, and they will take a little bit of the freedom as well because they need it. So they are looking forward to secure that spot for themselves. And even though they might say from time to time that they will take on a job or routine or something, unconsciously there's something going on oftentimes that is sort of, let's say, that inner freedom warrior that expresses that if that opportunity to go off the strict plan or the process and he sees fit, he's very eager to jump on that moment to see if he can impact it and maybe shortcut some steps for himself or the team. And it doesn't really always work out that way, and it's something we all have to deal with as coaches or teammates or players. And in terms of improvisation, they don't really care if someone is, let's say, 1 or 2 minutes late, or the program of the boot camp or something in their day-to-day life changed up. They are easy to work with in that regard in terms of planning, but this is something that the impulsive personality always have to keep in check, because although they are improvising, flexible, and let's say relaxed and chill, others are not, and it can be a huge conflict. And I've coached a couple of teams that have, let's say, 80+% of impulsive personalities, and that can be a real tedious job to coach them, because they're all like, yeah, we'll plan scrims for next week. Yeah, I'm available. Yeah, we'll see, because they're so free in their agenda. But at the moment in time when the next week has arrived and it's Monday, and the coach that was also an impulsive said like, okay, guys, can we scrim tomorrow night? And then it was like basically the joke, or what I find funny is like, oh no, I already made plans with my friends going to the cinema or to the film and wanted to chill, so I made other appointments. And then for that whole week, even though the week prior to that everyone was free, no one could scrim, or no one had one day off where everyone could scrim, because they're all in tune, being so improvising and wanting to fulfill their desires, that they forget the structure in order to succeed. So this is a really big downfall for impulsives, that they go with the flow too much, and they have to need some balance in their lives and structure in order to really reach those highs in their career. So if you're an impulsive and you are like almost personally offended by, oh, you're talking to me directly because I feel so correlated, well, get some structure going on, get some help with it, join a team where you feel like, okay, it's more professional, they can help me, because where they're struggling and you feel like, oh, it's like growing pains, like I have to adjust all the time, that is where you develop and grow as a person and as a human being as a whole. So these are some types of behavior where you can recognize an impulsive personality. So to quickly summarize the strengths of the impulsive personality profile, I think I mentioned quite some bit already, but let's just quickly go over it. They have, in terms of other personality profile, superb hand-eye coordination mechanics. It doesn't mean like, oh, this silver tier player outplays, like, let's say a grandmaster in League of Legends or a global elite in CSGO. Other personality profile is worse than a lower rank. It's not about that. It's, let's say, if you are talking about personality profiles on the same rank, these are often the type of players that are looking for the outplays and have mechanically gifted skill sets. Doesn't always have to be in terms of how they develop, but naturally these are more good at mechanical outplays than other personality profiles in the way their motoric system is connected inside the brain. But that is a different video for something later. So they have good improvisation skills, so they are easily to adapt. Tactical power skills, in order to metaphorically see them as commandos. You can drop them in any situation and they will make the best out of the tools and things that they have inside their environment and what's in front of them to get the best out of it in order to achieve victory. They're very good at keeping things relaxed. So if you're a very rigid organization or a very rigid team, it can help to at least get one flexible personality in that, so it balances it a bit out. But you have to keep the impulsive personality also in check, so he's not get too much structure around him. That is a good balance. So he needs like-minded people as well to connect with a brotherly bond as well. So keep that in mind. And they are very good at focus in the moment. So what they are great at, because they are always busy with 5 to 10 things at the same time, they love chaos, they love improvising, that they can really easily adjust their focus. So they are busy with 5 things, and if you ask them a question, like, they can drop the attention of the subject that they are doing and they can fully focus on you. But it's a short but more so laser focus, and they truly can listen to you and totally understand, but don't go rambling off too long because you will lose them. So be effective, be concrete with what you want, get the point across immediately, give them the information that they need in order to move forward and to improve, and then let them do their thing, what they have to do, because they like experience and doing and not that much thinking or talking about it. They need to experience it, right? So those are the strengths of the impulsive personality. But of course, everything that has a strength always have a weakness in one way or another. So does the impulsive personality has it as well. So because they are so impulsive, improvising, and have a pretty low attention span, they are pretty impatient. They just want to get going, start doing. They're not really the conceptual type. They want to think things through. And in terms of, let's say, lectures, and probably if you're watching this video, like, super power to you, Mr. Impulsive, because it's very hard for basically any impulsive to have a long attention span on things without doing anything else or take breaks or working on other problems in its surrounding. So, and as well, they also have a hard time to follow routines by following structure, and it's really rigid. That's why a lot of impulsive personalities drop out of school, because it's just not working for them. They need their freedom. They want to express and they want to explore and not sit in a bench and looking at lectures and some old stiff guy talking about the history, because the impulsive personality might not be at all interested in that topic, and it's like, oh, what I'm doing, I could have go sporting, I could do gaming, I could do anything else, just let me out of here, let me express myself, I need to do something with my energy. So these are some very recognizable things for an impulsive, and therefore, because they want to have that freedom, they also have a tendency to be inconsistent, and it also correlates with their in-game performance, because they want to improvise and they want to always take unconsciously, even though they train so hard. They have this innate preference to sometimes just like take the flip, take the risk, because that's what they like, and that's the thrill of the game and how they believe and think games are played. And sometimes it really works out, and sometimes you need these type of players in daring situations that they want to take full confidently those flips, and it really can bring a team up. But sometimes they can do it, and sometimes they can be totally off and can become inconsistent. And if there are many inconsistencies at a row, they can also start to doubt themselves, of course, just like anyone else. So this is a downfall. And if you're coaching impulsive, this is really something to look at, to get them consistent, to learn them to be structurized, and also help them to regain focus inside the games and learn what their patterns are and how you can trigger them to become a better and a more consistent player as well. And if you are a coach that is impulsive, so you're good at improvising and tactical knowledge and knowing what to do in order to win inside the moment with the things that you see in front of you, also know that other team members within your team need structure and do need processes. So it's always about finding a balance between, so you can be yourself but still giving enough towards the other people that you are working with so they can express their strengths as well. So you need to have a certain level as a coach of predictability and structure in your coaching as well, because else just like there's chaos over time and it's not really taking the development towards the next level within your team. So in terms of coaching, what I've seen, but doesn't have to be explicit, they can be really good if it's like short, impactful coaching, knowing the tactical side, and sometimes a strategical coach, but they are less good at being a head coach of looking at each other's feelings, getting structure in, making sure everyone is on time, doing schedules as well, getting everyone on board with other staff and informing them in time to do this stuff and connecting it all together. Because sometimes it's just like overwhelming because they have so much going on in their personal life often that they start to forget things or they forget to respond to others, inconsistent with their timing or something that they not really working out because they want to improvise, and if they say like, oh yeah, I can do that, I will figure something out, and then it doesn't really work that way at a certain level anymore. It worked for them previously, maybe 2 years ago, but when they ranked up in higher level esports teams, it's not working for them anymore because the team and everyone else around them need more structure and they need to adapt in order to succeed. So this is really something to think about and to reflect on what type of coach or player you want and have and who you are as a coach. So, and if you got questions on how to cope with it, or maybe you have a coach that find it difficult, share this video or just send a message in the DM and can give some advice, some tips how you can handle specific types of situations. So be sure to do that as well. And because the last point is, because they are so focused into the moment and into the here and now, and the here and now is the only thing that matters, they can neglect consequences for the future. So they want to, let's say, win the next game or that is at hand in this moment, or win that scrim, because that is basically how they behave innately, just want to find a challenge and looking for ways to tactically win, but they forget sometimes a bit of the strategical side about long-term progress. So if we are talking about players that are impulsive or coaches that are probably the best one to start off a season because they do everything in order to win. But for a long-term process, it can be damaging because they're only looking for the day that they are at, or maybe one day ahead or 1 week ahead towards the next game. And although that can be very powerful tool to have, and also a powerful lens to have within your team or in your organization, it can be detrimental for the long-term development of the team by not having the consequence seen that, okay, if you only focus on the win every time and not focus on, let's say, micromanagement or communication or processes that need to be developed over weeks within a competition or within a team, it can be detrimental at the later stages, while other teams might start off slow, but they will catch up and just run past you at the half of the season. So this is something that you also have to consider as well. So these are the weaknesses of the impulsive personality profile. So by watching this video, by listening, by looking at the bullet points, you probably have a pretty good idea if you are an impulsive personality, yes or no, or you know people around you, maybe the coach or you are as a coach are the impulsive one, but you want to be sure, because how do you know it's sure? It's always good to see something concrete in your hands that you can review and learn more about. So There's a lot of information available on the web, but it's more so like generalistic. I will try in the upcoming weeks, months, and years to provide you with more esports correlated content so you can recognize it in your own, let's say, environment as well. But a good start is go to 16personalities.com to have a free questionnaire. It's very worldwide known. A lot of people use it already, and it's a good indication to give more knowledge about who you are and how to work with certain people and where you stand in terms of, let's say, engagement, friendships, making decisions, etc. So impulsive is, in terms of personality profile, a temperament. That's what's called their 4 temperaments, and impulsive is one of them. But there are 4 personality profiles within the impulsive, and there are so much more differentiations and different personalities within those as well. But that's something for a later video when it's getting really expertise and all these kinds of things. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for when it's out there, so you'll be one of the first to get that. But if you got the results in of the 16personalities.com or someone else or some other questionnaire, if your results come out as, it comes out as 4 letters, and if the second and the fourth one of the result is an S and a P, you fall into the impulsive category. So what it means, it will also be a different video, but for now, this is enough information, else the video will drag on for way too long, and we don't want that, especially for you, the impulsive one, because if you're watching this, it's pretty a daunting task as well. So the last thing is a disclaimer. If you fill in the questionnaire, it's not a one-on-one representation of who you are, but it's more, let's say, a rough sketch. So even though it might have some information in it that doesn't really correlate with you, that is totally fine. I would say if it works for you, it should be around 80 to 85% that you correlate or find yourself into these personality profiles as well. And you're probably thinking right now, or some people are like, yeah, but if I read anything else, I also find some points that I can see myself in. Okay. What I would invite you to is make the test, the questionnaire, see if you fall in the impulsive category, read your explanation, who you are, to find more information, and then look at a way different personality on that website as well, and then see if you correlate with that much as well. Often good chances are that it doesn't correlate with you. So with that said, everything can change. A personality profile is fixed, but it is very dynamic. You doesn't mean you always have to be impulsive and aggressive. You can also like hold your temper or your impulsiveness in certain situations. So it doesn't mean a make or break, but it's just like a profile that you have certain innate tendencies, natural tendencies that are totally fine, totally okay. And it's something worthwhile to discover more, to express yourself inside the game and outside the game as well, to become a more well-rounded and knowledgeable coach, manager, analyst, strategical coach, player, manager, or owner, or whatever. So head out, do this test, read more, and I will produce more videos so I can educate you as well, more personality profiles as well. So are you an impulsive personality inside the game or outside the game? Do you recognize yourself, or maybe some friends, the coach that you play with, or are you the coach and you recognize some things that I've mentioned in this video? Then comment down below what really struck you, or maybe something that you really what really stands out for you, or someone that you know that really correlates with your experiences. So if you like this video, please smash that like button. It really helps me, the video, get more attention in the YouTube algorithm. But if you love this video, also be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated with the newest content as well, about different personality profiles, different behaviors, different ways to cope with this, and also later on to connect every different personality profile and how that works and interacts with one another to build the best team ever and to coach better than ever before. So if you will do that, thank you so much. And If not, that is all good. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.